You know, I'm not sure what to talk about, but reality is very strange. Um, Especially when you actually stop to actually experience it. And the mind, at least my mind, the analyzation of what reality is, the questioning never stops. Well, I mean, it stops briefly when I'm in the moment, but a lot of the time, it keeps on going. And when I'm in my room and I just wake up, some days I have all these apathetic thoughts like, is it really okay for me to go enjoy life while others are suffering? Like these desires I have, because I got it pretty good. I'm not complaining. Compared to people that are starving and I don't know what other countries, maybe the Gaza Strip, what's going on there. People's homes are being raided and destroyed. These are things I sometimes think about, but I don't know if they're all that healthy to think about, because sometimes I can't help but think about the suffering. I've reached a point in my evolution where I can't ignore the suffering in the world. And some days I just want to down a bottle of sake. It's weird. It's like my greed wants to ignore it and continue to do what I want to do, my desires, right? But then there's another part of me that wants to do something about it. But I also realize I do no good if I'm caught in the suffering of the suffering. And what I mean by that is, like, if I see suffering, whether it be in the world, a family or a friend or whatever, and I'm caught in the drama, the drama circle, I do no good. I'd be better off at home playing video games or doing whatever I want to go do. Because if I get caught in the suffering, I can't elevate consciousness, effectively and efficiently. But with the suffering in the world, that's a little bit different. That's some heavy stuff. But I don't know why it's there, and it's best that I don't know why it's there. The universe always has a way for making things out. I like the way Alan Watts puts it. I agree with this perspective, but he says something along the lines of, there's really only two ways you can go about dealing with reality. Either everything is wrong and needs to be fixed, and you must do battle. I love that. He's like, you must do battle with it. And so there's that way of looking at it. But there's so much suffering in that way, and you're going to suffer a lot. And I'm talking about suffering of the mind. But the other way is that, well, there's an appalling amount of suffering in the universe, but it must be all worthwhile. It all must mean something. So how do I flow with it as harmoniously as I can? And that's kind of, that's another way of looking at it. And that way, there's still the suffering, right? Even the Buddha said there is suffering. There's no escaping that. Once you die, yeah, you might escape it. I don't know what happens after that, but I assume it's something at least different. I don't want to label it good or bad, but it'll definitely be different. But here, you can't escape the suffering. It's everywhere. So there's no... You're going to go through a stage, like I'm kind of in the stage right now, when you're awakening in consciousness where you see it everywhere. And you could try to sit down and watch TV. You can try to play video games, but in the back of your mind, the suffering of the world is still going to bother you, you know? And you're going to want to start doing something about it. Like this whole YouTube thing, I keep saying, I want to do YouTube, I want to do YouTube, but why? Because like I notice when I want to do it for myself, I don't really give a shit. And that's why I haven't really posted videos, but, you know, to wake people up and to be who I'm really meant to be. I think that's the best way for me to go about making videos, and whoever takes the time to listen to these things, those are the people that are supposed to listen to it. People that don't stick around or click off, I mean, that's because it's best I don't manipulate it. I had a friend saying, you should learn the YouTube algorithm. But why? You know, what's the point? I'm not trying to be anyone, really. But I feel the need to share a message. And this is a great platform to do it on. And I don't want this to be my career. I don't want it to be a place of getting attention or stuff like that. I'd rather it be a place to express my thoughts, what's on my mind, whatever it is. Like this video I'm doing right now. I'm thinking in the moment, but before I shot this video, I didn't have a script to follow. I see no need for any of that. The way I live my life is very flowing, but very changing. I don't really plan what I'm going to do until I wake up. Like tomorrow, the only thing I can tell you that I'm going to do tomorrow for sure is go to work. I can't tell you what I'm going to eat, what my plans are in the morning. I really have no routine structure. I kind of just flow. And that's really weird to some, but it makes sense to me, at least at this point in my evolution. You know, I think structure is good. That's why I have a job. That's why I have a house, a place to call home. Structure is good. I did the road trip thing, and it was fun, but I wouldn't want to live like that. I like coming home, but when I'm home, I'm very reserved. I'm not very, it's like my quiet place. I'm not very social. Well, I guess it depends on the day. But I want YouTube to see all of me. I don't want to hide any part of me. I don't want you to think I'm a certain way. Oh, I'm serious all the time, or I'm Luffy all the time, or I'm happy all the time, or I'm a Jedi all the time, because that's not the truth. And I don't think that's the truth with anyone. I think that every day we're a different version of ourselves. You could label it whatever you want, but we're always changing. And that's something I want to bring light, because it's real easy to fall into the misconception that we stay the same and we start to see others. And when others change, we're like, oh no, you're not being yourself. But how do you have any right to say that? You really don't, because you're not that person. You're not experiencing what they're experiencing. Your likes and dislikes can change overnight, and you have no control over that. One day you may wake up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna quit my job. And you probably could have been at that job for 15, 20 years. And everybody at your job would probably think you're crazy. But you're so close to retirement. Why are you leaving? I don't know. My heart told me to leave, so I'm leaving. That's what I'm saying. Like, this reality, you cannot put a definition on it. You can try, but it'll get shattered. This reality is an experience. That's the best definition to put on it. But every soul is on their own journey. So when one of your friends rapidly changes overnight, and you're still trying to hang on to who they once were, but they're not that anymore, that's just going to create unnecessary suffering. And it's best to let things go. It's best to let the past go. The past is kind of an anchor point in time. It's like a ship on the ocean. And say there's a certain port that we're going by, and we throw down the anchor. We go have drinks, we go to the restaurants at the port, and we have all these fun times. But then life sort of forces you back on the ship. I don't know, the port catches on fire, a hurricane wipes it out, and you have to hurry and get to your ship and ride the waves. And that's kind of how life is. But the suffering, you still hanging on to stuff, is like you jumping in your ship when there's a hurricane hitting the port and you didn't tie up the anchor. The anchor's still at the dock. So it's dragging you behind and the hurricane's ripping you apart. But if you were to cut the anchor loose, cut the attachments, and ride the wave of change, that's how life is. And that's a lot more smooth sailing than being ripped to shreds by a hurricane while you're still anchored at the port. Anchored to what was, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know? So yeah, I mean, that's why it's really good to maybe go on a morning walk. There's some things, I think I'm in the stage now where a routine is going to start come into play, but it's not something I have to think about. It's more or less something that I have to feel what is right for me to do. I have to feel it out intuitively. I can't think about these things anymore, because every time I think about things, it just doesn't feel right inside. Thinking has a purpose. My intellect has a purpose, but I have to be very cautious to not serve it and to have it serve me, whatever the universe. I don't have my best interest in mind, and I don't have the best intentions in mind. And I'm not perfect. I don't always follow my intuition, but I know deep down that the universe has my best interest in mind. God, whatever you want to call it. I mean, listening to what the universe doesn't talk, that's the mind. If your mind's talking to you, that's not the universe. It's a feeling you get. Like with quitting your job. If you show up to work every day and you absolutely hate what you do and you hate being there, and the universe, your heart is trying to pull you towards something else. I don't know, maybe you want to go play guitar and you want to sing on street corners in downtown Austin. And other people may not look at that as like, I don't know, proficient for your life, but it's still art. You're playing music for a very sad world, and you can make people's day different just by doing that. So I'd say go for it. Quit your job. Why are you still there? That's kind of the intuitive listening I'm talking about. It's more of a pull. You're being pulled to something. You want to run away from something, and you're being pulled somewhere else. And that's because the universe is trying to tell you you're not meant for this. You're meant for a different purpose. I don't want to get into the higher, lower purpose. I don't want to be egotistical about it, but you're meant for something else other than what you're doing. Like with this whole YouTube thing, I feel a pull to make videos, but I don't feel a pull to study algorithm or to be someone on YouTube or to, no. I just want to shoot a video, 10 to 20 minutes. How long is this one? Okay, I gotta wrap it up here in a sec. But I just want to shoot a video, be myself, whoever I am that day. I just woke up not too long ago, but you know, I just want to share me and my thoughts and my experiences. And maybe this might be something I do every morning, who knows. But yeah, I'm just gonna do that and share with the world what I think, what I'm meant to say. And that's the best way to go about it. Ride the winds of change in life. Don't hang on to the anchor at the port. Don't hang on to the past. It causes a lot of unnecessary suffering. People change, they're supposed to change. You know, when I was on my road trip in Montana, I was so in alignment with the universe, with what the universe wanted me to be, where it wanted me to be. My life was like a damn storybook. And even coming back, I still experience. But the magic, when you're at home and you fall back into the patterns of routine, the magic is much more subtle. It's less noticeable, but it's still there. It's a blessing to be alive, with, you know, even with all the suffering. So, alright. Well, I'm going to sign off. This is Liable Thought. If you guys like the video, leave a like or dislike. If you leave a dislike, or if you just want to share your own thoughts, reply in the comment section below and subscribe for more content. Alright, I'll see you guys around. Bye.